Hello, good afternoon. This is Jocelyn at Breaking Barriers. Thank you for tuning in. Breaking Barriers is a spotlight show that we've got going during the lunch hour throughout the week, and sometimes we have it happening on weekends. So just keep an eye on our Facebook page, Spotlight on the Arts. Do a search for Spotlight on the Arts on Facebook, and you should be able to find a lot of our video links and information on some of our upcoming guests there. Today's guest, we have my fellow Spotlight host. She usually hosts Mondays on Behind the Art Scene. Her name is Joaquin. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with who she is. She's always out there, huge art advocate in the city of Stockton. And but before we get to that, I want to just get a little bit of the administrative stuff out of the way. If you are interested in donating to KXVS, you can go to the website kxvs.org. Spotlight on the Arts is a KXVS.org program that runs from noon to 1 p.m., focusing on local music, art, and food. If you do a search on Facebook for Spotlight on the Arts, KXVS.org, and like our page to get the most up-to-date information, how to donate, you can go online and find all the links on the website, kxvs.org, via PayPal, or you can send a check to our address, which is all online as well. It's P.O. Box 4123, Stockton, California, 95204. We are a nonprofit organization, so donations made to the Voice of Stockton is tax deductible. We have an event coming up in July. It's called Summer Wonderland, Joy, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be July 22nd at Channel Brewery, and the event is listed on Facebook as well. If you want to go ahead and find out more information about it, you should be able to find it on the website as well as Facebook on our page. So basically today I wanted to kind of do something a little bit different. I just kind of wanted to do like a month recap and bring Joy in because she's really familiar with what's kind of going on with the downtown area as far as arts go. And she kind of does a little bit of, I kind of consider it renegade art. I mean, it's kind of like, tagging and graffiti. I mean, sometimes she's supposed to, but sometimes she's not. Thus the name of my show, Breaking Barriers. Yes. So, but she's been doing a lot of chalk art downtown. So if you are one of the lucky few who have been able to spot some of her work downtown, that's good because they're temporary. They're chalk, so it's not there for very long. I'm kind of rolling through some of the images I have here. And then after our first break, I'm going to make sure we go into quad mode so that you can see on the bottom right of the screen how a lot more of the pictures. We had it on there earlier, but after break, we can switch it back. But anyway, so basically as far as the month recap, I just wanted to talk about some of the guests we've had on Breaking Barriers. The very first one we had on here was Salvador Castillo. Do you know who Salvador Castillo is? I'm sure you know who he is.
Actually, no.
Yeah, he's, if you go to his Instagram, he's got his artwork there. It's just gorgeous artwork, and he's very meticulous. I like his work because he does a lot of, it's got a lot of its foundation and roots in history. So, if you go to Salvador Castillo, Castio, on Instagram, you'll find some of his work. And like I said, he was one of our guests from earlier this month. I also had Monet Montillon. She's a music promoter in town as well. And Ellen Powell and James Griffin, who was my guest just a couple weeks ago. They talked about urban farming and Black urban farmers, and also we had a little discussion about Boggs Track and what's going on over there. Just last week we had Jeff Porto from Shedskin Reptiles. He brought in a couple of the reptiles that he had. It was really a really good show, and I know that a lot of people are having a hard time finding some of the links to our shows, the recorded shows. So I was asked to just go ahead and kind of go over how you can find them. I think the easiest way is if you go to YouTube and you do a search for KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, which is kind of what I have here, but you're probably not able to see it at this point. But do a search on the Voice of Stockton, KXVS, and it'll bring you to the actual channel. And then once you're in the channel, you can do a channel search and move forward and look for either breaking barriers or behind the art scene, and you'll be able to bring it up from there. There's the whole list. It kind of narrows down your search. Someone was asking me just the other day, wasn't there an interview done with, for example, say, Donna Marie, she's with Tosco. And I said, yes, actually Joy did an interview with her. When was that? Just a few weeks ago?
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, it's hard to find these pre-recorded programs, but if you go into YouTube, go into KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, and do a mini search within the channel, you should be able to find it. So what other, who has been your guests so far? We've had Valacoba, but these are like from way before.
So
this past month you had quite a few also, Joy.
Yeah, I think in total I've had 20 different guests. So
there's Donna Marie.
There's Donna Marie. I try to get all the people that are really active in the arts community. So Donna Marie founded Tosco. They're having a number of events coming up in July, June and July. I had Valacoba. She was just honored at Delta Fusion as one of the contributors to Stockton. I had Denise Manning. She owns a Pretty Lady boutique downtown. That was Roy Hogard, Rhonda Nunez, Ann Wilcox with the stock market, Sophia Colon. She's active with Reinvent South Stockton and helped to reopen the Fair Oaks Library. She was instrumental on Measure M, giving money to the libraries. So, just trying to...
Joy's got a really good selection of different shows that she's had with these really community leaders from Stockton.
Right.
And it's really important that I think that the people that are, looking for these, like I said, just go onto YouTube, KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, search. And then within the channel, you can go and search for Behind the Art Scene with Joy Nays or Breaking Barriers with Jocelyn. And you'll be able to find a list of all the different shows that we've done so far. I think I've had about maybe 16 shows. Joy's probably had a little bit more because I kind of started a couple weeks after her. So, but yeah, I think it's important that you have access. It's really important to know your community leaders and who are the movers and shakers out there in Stockton. Now we're going to talk about, I think, Joy, you've got some good history there on some of your chalk art. We were going to bring that up before we went on our break.
Yes, I started to write down, remembering all the how my chalk history evolved. And now we're up to 2 pages.
I was telling her she needs her own website now. She doesn't have one yet.
Yeah, I can't remember the year, but my first experience was with chalk was at the Italian Street Painting Festival in Stockton. And at that time it was at the Groupie office on March Lane, and it was in their parking lot. A number of, I think the reason I ended up going to it, a number of people, artists from the Stockton Art League, were invited to go and actually sell some of their artwork. So they were doing chalk art, but they also had a little art sale. And I went to visit some of those Trani Commons and I think Dolly Sellers, various people from the Art League that were showing their art at the time. And then they just said, "Oh, would you like to try your hand at chalk art?" And I'd never done anything like that. So my very first chalk drawing, the Groupie office is very close to, it was Mallard's Restaurant.
Yes.
And they had that sculpture right in the middle of the lake or pond, whatever. It's some dolphins coming.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was my very first chalk drawing. I tried to draw the dolphins.
Okay.
And that it was so hot out there because you're in the middle of the parking lot on the asphalt. There was no cover, and it was blazing.
Yeah.
So, but I loved the way it felt on my fingers, and just trying to get that image. So I think I was really hooked, and then I went back the next year.
When was that? That was like
I can't figure that out, but I know it was.
Well, Mallard's was still there, so yeah.
So it was before '97. I know I know that. So it's been over 20 years, but the next year that first year I just did my own drawing, but the next year I did a drawing for one of my favorite bands. I don't even know if they're still around, the In the Mood band. And they were really popular in Stockton. They were like a 50s band. And so I did a drawing just for them. I think they were the sponsor for the chalk square. So I used to take piano lessons, and one of my piano books, they had the cover of the piano book was these dancers, and they were in poodle skirts, and so I drew a little scene of these little teens, people dancing with their poodle skirts, and so that was my second drawing, and then the whole chalk festival, it moved over to the Marina Marketplace on Ben Holt. So it was around in and around the shopping center. Some people drew out in the parking lot, but the other people drew underneath the covered areas. So that was a lot more comfortable. I always drew close to the businesses, and so I did a number of chalk pieces over there. So that's what started it all.
So we have these chalk festivals. Is that still happening now?
I don't know. I don't know whatever happened to. I think as far as I know, it was organized by, I think it was Lincoln High School.
Okay.
So I keep on wondering, so I just never heard about it. It kind of went on without me. And so I ended up going, finding chalk festivals in other cities. So I've done a number of things. I did one in Sacramento, and several in Walnut Creek. They used to have a big chalk festival at the Broadway Plaza. They don't do that anymore. So the chalk festival in Sacramento, it's called Chalk It Up. And I think they still have it, but it was always around on the Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
And they would go to a park. I think it's on 16th Street, but it was like four sides of the park, and all the chalk artists would draw on the sidewalk all the way around the park. And once they drew, they just left the chalk there until it wore off. So you could see those drawings for probably, I think.
I thought that's what they normally would do, just kind of leave it there until it wears off? Or?
A lot of times they come and wash it off.
Wow.
I think the ones at the Marina Marketplace, they washed off.
Okay.
But no, so Chalk It Up, I did that a couple years. I remember that because the weekend I was out there the first time, that was when Princess Diana died.
Okay.
And that was in 1997. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I was just devastated hearing the news. Yeah. And so I think it was either on a Friday or a Saturday. And then like the next day, we all went out there, and some people started drawing Princess Diana. So it was like a homage to her. But I did a couple out there. They always had sponsors. So one year I drew, I like drawing logos. So I drew for Blimpie, the Subway sandwich shop. Yeah. So I did a sub sandwich, a Blimpie sandwich.
Let's see if we can. You know what? We'll cut to a real quick break, and then we'll talk more about the other stuff that you've been talking about. Some of the challenges you've been having as a chalk artist.
Sure.
We'll be right back. Thank you.
My name is Miriam, and I am the voice of Stockton.
Welcome back to Breaking Barriers. I'm your host, Jocelyn, and today's guest is joining us. She is a chalk artist here in town, downtown Stockton mostly, and she's also a fellow Spotlight on the Arts host. Her show is on Mondays, Breaking Barriers, at the same time slot. I'm sorry, wait, nope. Behind the art scenes. She's behind the art scenes. I'm Breaking Barriers.
There we go.
She's behind that, yeah. And then we've got David, who does Yellow Dot on Fridays. But before we went on break, I was going to ask Joy what challenges, some of the challenges she's had with, being able, doing the art, and then seeing how you had mentioned sometimes they want it cleaned off right off the bat, or.
Well, what's worse, I can understand cleaning it or whatever, but people just don't seem to be very aware. I'm sitting on a sidewalk or in a parking lot drawing, and some people just walk right through my drawing. While I'm drawing it.
Yeah, they definitely don't.
Or I'm really afraid of bicycles and, the rolling carts and, whoever, wheelchairs and, whoever wants to just
what you should do?
Right through the drawing.
You should put those Caltrans orange cones around you.
Yeah, exactly.
And just put caution tape around you.
So I try to I have my chalk bag and my water, and I try to put little barriers, little things right around me. Okay, I'm here. This is my piece of real estate here. But the other challenge is, you never know who wants you to be drawing where. I'm thinking, oh no, some cop is going to come up and say something.
Right.
But
right. Really? A cop will say something. Guys, there's so many other things that you need to worry about in this town. Guys.
So that was my fear. But several weeks ago, I was drawing in front of Irma's, a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
And that's a beloved restaurant right on Weber Avenue. And I was drawing a design. And all of a sudden, these cops came, and I'm going, oh no, they're going to say something. They're going to tell me to move on or whatever. They just went into the restaurant. So they were there to eat. They didn't care that I was chalk drawing. And when they came out, they, complimented my drawing. So
yeah, I think they got other things going on. I mean, for example, this past couple nights, there was homicide somewhere in town. So it's kind of okay.
So the cops are good. Police are your friends. I think where I get more resistance are just some of the people in positions of leadership.
I was going to ask, what are some of those challenges there? Because do you really need to get permit to do this? I mean, do little kids that are just wanting to play hopscotch and maybe even
not that I know of, but what I will say, I do feel good that this actually, I think it was a year ago, last year, the Downtown Stockton Alliance, Cindy Fargo, the head of the Downtown Stockton Alliance, she saw my chalk art, and she loved it so much. She called me up and said, I want to hire you to do chalk art around downtown. So now she's hired me to do that. So when I decide to, go and do a chalk piece, and I'm sitting there and somebody would say something, I said, well, the Downtown Stockton Alliance, they've hired me. So that kind of helps with people not kicking me out.
Trying to give you a hard time. It's I'm legit.
I think, chalk is making the world more beautiful. And actually, when I just went over to the Chavez Library yesterday, and they were having a multicultural music. It was just a wonderful program with all the different instruments around the world and everything. And when I got to the Chavez Library, on the corner, I looked down, and someone, I don't know who's doing it, but someone did a little chalk drawing right on the corner by the Chavez Library, and it looks like angel wings with a halo. And I walked all over downtown yesterday, and I saw the same little angel chalk drawing on a whole bunch of the corners. And I've seen that for years.
Oh, neat.
Different places, I think on the Miracle Mile and all around Stockton. I don't know who does it, but I was so happy to see it. And I think the leaders of our city, they should look at that and say, you know, that's a good thing. You know, like say, okay, City Hall or Chavez Library or any of the city buildings, we would welcome. Mm-hmm. We would actually invite chalk artists to come out. I'd like to see that happen. That would break some barriers. So.
That's awesome. That'd be great. Yeah. So as far as the different locations that you go to, is there like, you know, are you assigned to them? Do you choose them randomly? How does that work?
So it ended up when Cindy, she asked me, you know, we'd like you to do this. The reason she wanted me to do chalk drawing is not just for me to do chalk drawing. It's called placemaking. So it's a way to kind of, she says, disrupt people's activities. So when I'm drawing and someone comes and they see it, they, you know, would either like fall over me and, oh, you're doing something, or they look at what I'm doing and they usually, you know, engage in conversation. Oh, sure. Nice drawing, da, da, da. And a whole bunch of the school kids have come by and you know, they just really enjoyed it. So she wanted me to think of where it would get the most foot traffic. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So where people would notice it, where people would appreciate it, where people are walking. And so I decided, you know, I really love doing logos. So I wanted to, you know, like Casa Flores, I did the Casa Flores, the little logo with the chili pepper. You know, if someone has a logo. So I enjoy doing that.
I was going to look for your most recent one that I found through my newsfeed like last night. There
yesterday I did on Cancun, on the side of the building, they had this painted on the side of the building. So I said, oh, what can I do for Cancun? I'd love to do Cancun. They're a long time, you know, business in downtown. I'd like to honor them. So those are the kind of places I look for, you know, where people are going to go, where people, you know, enjoy being. And then the other thing is, you know, I have to look for a good surface. Mm-hmm. What's in shade?
What's in shade? Especially if it's 115 outside. Shade would be nice. So, buildings, in between buildings.
so when I went over to Cancun, and I got there a little bit late, but I looked at the front of Cancun, which is on Minor, and on the side of Cancun, I think it is on Hunter. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, you know, in front, more people would see it, but I really don't want to be out in the sun. So I went to the side, and I thought, oh, no, are people going to see it? But right on Hunter, people are parked there, and then there is a parking lot behind Cancun where people park. So a whole bunch of families and people, they all pass by, and mostly a lot of the men, nice job, good work, oh wonderful.
That's cool.
And, you know, right before I left to go over to the Chavez Library, there was a father and his little daughter, and we spent like 10 minutes talking about what type of chalk and where can you do this. And,
is there a particular type of chalk that you have to use?
I do recommend. I really don't look at the brand or whatever the specific name. You can, if you want to just get some cheap chalk, inexpensive chalk, you can go to the dollar store, and you know that can start a child off. But I am using better quality chalk.
Does it have does it have like a particular ingredient that makes
I
it
think
better?
it's a pastel chalk, and it usually comes in
Probably more pigment, right?
More
brighter
pigment,
colors.
brighter, very
Okay.
like with that the child's chalk, it's all pastels. You can barely. So you really want the
Right.
rich, deep chalk. It's a pastel chalk. Okay. They have an oil chalk. And I don't think that's coming off the sidewalk if you're.
Yeah, that
so you
that'll
want
take some
so
an air compressed.
yeah. So you want to get the pastel
Cleansing.
chalk. Please look for pastel chalk. You can find it like Michael's and different art stores.
So the pastel chalk is richer in color. It's
Yeah,
got more
yeah,
pigment, and
yeah,
it's got maybe
right.
a little bit more staying power.
Yeah.
Unless you go for the oil chalk, which
yeah,
might
don't-
be there
yeah,
for
you
quite
don't-
some
you
time,
don't wanna
and then
do
you'll
that.
really make some people upset. Probably.
But now a number of people, they've made a suggestion. I don't know if the city would allow this, but we could break some barriers with that. They said, "Oh, we would love for these to be permanent." So maybe at some point we could actually paint these on the sidewalk.
Wow,
You know?
that would be amazing. They did something. Well, I wasn't going to say it's similar, but not. But the mailboxes that they've painted all throughout downtown. Also, not the mailboxes; they're utility boxes,
Right.
actually.
Right.
And I see those. I've seen a couple of them already change within the past couple of years. I thought that they'd be a permanent piece of art there, but then somebody came in and changed them, a little bit, painted
Yeah.
over it, and did a different design, basically.
Yeah, the downtown Stockton Lions, again, they have quite a number of art projects. So they've done the utility boxes, they've done banners, they've done the music to our ears. It's all the painted pianos.
The painted pianos. What's that?
It's so music to our ears. So Sylvia Qualls, she's with the Downtown Stockton Lions. She does marketing and all their promotionals. She's in charge of that program. People donate pianos to the Downtown Stockton Lions,
okay.
and then artists come and paint them. So, but then they need businesses, they need buildings to adopt the piano and say, okay, we're going to keep the piano in our building at night. And then during business hours, we will roll it out and put it on the sidewalk, put it in front of our building, and then people can come by and play music.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Is there is there a piano out there that we can actually, what businesses actually have them?
So I know, I just did I ended up doing a chalk drawing for a piano.
Oh, wow.
For the Music to Our Ears program. I didn't know what to draw, and Frank, my husband, he came up with the great idea of that I should draw a Schroeder. So I drew Schroeder playing the piano,
Oh, that's
and Snoopy dancing, and that takes me back to my roots. I used to draw Snoopy on cakes, so I spent a lot of time doing cake art. So the chalk art is kind of a transition from that, but that was right in Janet Lee Plaza.
okay.
The piano's right in the middle of the plaza, and they put a little canopy over, like a little tent, and you can go right out there. I'm not sure where the other pianos are. They used to. They had a piano at the campus. It was a daycare right across from the transit center. I haven't seen it there. I'm not sure when it will be back. They did have a mishap with the piano. We can talk about.
Oh, no. Did it roll into the middle of the street?
No. Unfortunately, someone forgot to bring it in at night, and some people kind of took it and
Turned it into their homes?
ran away with the piano, the runaway piano. But fortunately, Nicholas Burnett, he was the painter. He did the scene on the piano, and when he heard that it was missing, he got TV reporters. He put it on the news.
Oh, yeah. Got the
and
media involved, definitely.
It got the media, and then I think he posted a reward. And so they found the piano, and the piano is restored. So I think that one actually is in front of Court Tower.
Wow.
over on Main Street.
Nice. Oh, I love this one with the bike.
So yes, I also so I love to be able to honor businesses. I wanted to honor Stephen Bentley, and Stephen Bentley, he's a deacon at St. John's Church, and but he is an artist. He has his own syndicated cartoon, Urban Jamal, and I first met him, curiously enough. He was chalk drawing at this Italian street painting festival.
Neat.
I would love him to come out and do that again. But he started this thing called Hub, and they fix bikes and they provide bikes for people to take to work. And so this.
And you did that right off of a photograph. It looks
Yes,
like right there,
yeah.
right?
So this was the first anniversary of Hub. It's been around 1 year. It's right over, actually really close to Cancun. It's in between Cancun and the
It's all
St.
downtown.
John's Church.
Yeah. Okay. When we come back from break, we're going to talk about some of the events that are coming up that Joy's involved. That's got chalk art as well, so you can go ahead and take a look. Events and activities that are coming up. So we'll come back, and Joy will have a few more things to talk about with us. And some totem pole thing going on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's weird. What's
Okay.
going on with that?
Okay.
Okay, so we'll be right back. Thank you.
Welcome to the afternoon entertainment hour at OJ's Juice Bar, and here's today's juice.
Listen to OJ's Juice Bar, Sundays at 4 p.m. on KXVS, the voice of Stockton.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Julie Dameron, local veterinarian for over 20 years. I am so excited about my new radio show, Tales and Tips, on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Voice of Stockton, and KXVS Radio. I will discuss relevant issues affecting animals and pet owners today, how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
Attention, Stockton. Are you experiencing a transition in business, relationships, health, or your life purpose? I'm Darius Oliver, and I help people to look within and find clarity and direction in their constantly changing lives. Tune in and listen with me as I go deep into your patterns and personal cycles through divine numerology. Any life transition you're experiencing can be illuminated by an in-depth analysis of your chart. For the first time in Stockton, you now have access to a professional numerologist here to help you light your own way. I'm in the booth to help you find your own truth. Tune in to Divine Numerology every Friday at 3 p.m. on the Voice of Stockton.
With Matt George and Leo Biaz.
Cowbell Kingdoms podcast.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Thursday nights at 7 p.m. right here on KXVS, the voice of Stockton.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Jocelyn with Breaking Barriers here, your Wednesday noontime lunch hour show. We are the Spotlight team here, and my fellow Spotlight host here, Joy Neese, is my guest today. She wanted to talk. I'm having her talk about her chalk art and stuff, cool stuff. But anyway, now we are going to talk about some of the upcoming events that she's kind of involved in. Well, actually, you're putting together Art Splash, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got the Art Splash event coming up on July 14th. And you can tell us a little bit about Art Splash and Art Break Day and Family Day at the park. If you guys want to go ahead and mark this on your calendar, it'll be a fun family thing to do, or just want to check it out.
So, when I had first started doing the chalk drawing, it's one thing to draw, your own drawings, but then what I found out, I just really enjoy organizing events. Chalk events. So I had done one on the Miracle Mile and different events around town. And the one on the Miracle Mile, that's where I found Felicia Ruiz. She's probably the best chalk artist that I've ever seen. And at the next Art Splash, Felicia, she used to draw at Art Splash. She would draw these just amazing movie poster designs underneath the dome at Janet Lee Plaza by the Regal Cinemas. And so for, I think, 1 or 2 years, she would we were privileged to have her come and draw all these amazing pieces. And then she got married and she moved away, and but on July 14th is the next Art Splash. It's the second Friday of the month. We have Art Splash May through October on the second Friday from 5 to 8 in the evening. But Felicia got in touch with me and she said, I'm going to be back in California and I'd like to come and draw at the Art Splash. So Felicia will be drawing underneath the dome at the Regal Cineplex. I hope that she will do the new movie Valerian.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Do some kind of piece for that, and maybe Spider-Man. So
these are some of her pictures, some of the chalk art she's done on the bottom right corner there on your screen. This one looks like Maleficent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Whoops. And then
I think that was the dragon, How to Train Your Dragon. That one.
Oh, this one, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there was Dolphin Tales, and so many different ones. So that's July 14th. Come and say hi to Felicia if you've been wondering where she's been. And then on September 1st, Art Break Day. I've been arranging this. I think it will be... I think it's the 5th year in Stockton. And I got in touch with the homeless shelter of Stockton, and we are going to have Art Break Day at the homeless shelter. Now, the homeless shelter is right next door to St. Mary's Dining Room. So if you know where St. Mary's Dining Room, it's under the freeway. It's kind of between the freeways, right off of Lincoln Street. You take Lincoln, that goes by the Children's Museum, and you can go and find the St. Mary's Dining Room, and then right next door is the Stockton homeless shelter. And we'll have drawing. We'll do chalk drawing. We'll have drawing supplies and painting supplies. We're going to also make like a whole little festival for the day. So that'll be from, I think, 12 to 5.
Nice. Art Break Day, September 1st. So put that on your calendar.
September 1st. And then this year, Carrie Sass, she invited me to put together a chalk area at Family Day in the Park. That's September 16th. It's the 20th anniversary of Family Day in the Park. It's over at University Park. When Family Day in the Park first started, it was at Victory Park, but it moved over to University Park, and we're going to have a chalk area. So I need as many artists that can come out, and we need everybody to do book illustrations.
Nice. So call for artists, book illustrations for September 16th.
And so that I think,
event,
I think that's from like 9 to 3. It's in the morning. So come on out, find the chalk area, and help me fill up the chalk.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome too. Okay, so when on our way, I almost forgot. I wanted to talk about Western Ranch Visual Arts Boosters. They are having also an event on Friday, this Friday, June 30th, from noon to about 1:30, 2 o'clock. They're doing a T-shirt upcycling workshop. So this is workshop 1. It's going to be the basics. We're going to provide you with the scissors and the instruction on how to cut your T-shirt and just kind of redesign it. So you can come in, bring your own shirt, and the instructor will show you how to there's 3 different designs that she's got. One is like a slit on the shoulder. The other one is like putting ribbons on the front on each side. And then the other one is an open back design. So bring your shirt in. We do have shirts as well. We're providing some donated, gently used, and I know that some of them aren't even used. I'm personally bringing them over to the library. It's going to be at Weston Ranch Library from, like I said, about noon to 1:30, and we're going to have the scissors and some beads and ribbons ready for you to go. You just have to bring your own shirt, and we'll show you how to cut them up and redesign them and upcycle them. This is workshop 1, like I said. So we're eventually going to have like an intermediate and an advanced, because there's, I would say, 3 different levels of intricacies when you're redesigning these shirts. So you can take, a simple T-shirt, and then just do something completely different with it. It's going to be a really fun workshop. It's for students 10 and up, because we're working with scissors. If you want, you can come and bring your kids, as long as you accompany them. That'll be fine too. But yeah, so upcycling T-shirts at Western Ranch Library, hosted by Western Ranch Visual Arts Boosters on Friday at noon. So
I just wanted to mention some of the other events that Tosco is doing. Tosco is Telling Our Authentic Stories Theater Company.
That's right. They've got a lot going on, too,
downtown. And it was founded by Donna Marie McMillan. They've moved into a new location. It's on the corner of Fremont and California. I think it's 443 North California. And Friday night is their grand opening. So you can come by, see the space, play some games. There's some nice artwork, some food. And on Saturday, they're having a fundraiser. It's a barbecue fundraiser from 2 to 6. Come out, get a plate of barbecue, $15. They're doing another event on the 4th of July. They are doing a reading about what it means, what the 4th of July means. And if people want to bring food, it can be like a little potluck thing at about noon. And then they're doing one on the 11th, having a reading. It's a Japanese story, and on the 21st. So you can look up Tosco on Facebook and find out more about it. But hope to see you at the grand opening on Friday night.
That would be great. That's at least, we need more things like that around here. It's really important that we've got activities and different events for everyone to be able to attend. We were talking about some totem pole that was, I guess, erected last night, Joy?
Within the last few days, I saw...
At Victory Park, right?
Yeah, I saw a picture of a totem pole at Victory Park. I'm going, what is this? Is it the Arts Commission? Did they put a totem pole? I never heard about this. And then I read the story today. Somebody had gone and put up the totem pole, like in the middle of the night, and everybody found it in Victory Park, but then they took it down. So
they took it down?
Yeah, they took it down. So it was the Renegade totem pole.
How tall was it?
I think it was about 20 feet. And
Okay.
I think there was like an eagle on top and a few other images, but the community has spoken. We want our totem pole back. So there's the Schroeder. Here's the piano. Under its tent.
Yeah, you were saying something about there was already a totem pole there pre-existing in the past, right?
Yeah, probably 10 or 15 years ago, it was having some rot.
Totem pole.
It had been there for so long, and they had to take it down. So unfortunately, like the Hagen lost some of their most famous things. The mummy. They used to have a mummy in the head.
I remember that. It was downstairs, right? You went down the stairs.
No.
Oh.
No, it was in that in the Lion Decker area.
Okay.
And so first someone said, "Oh, that mummy isn't yours. You have to give it back." So they took the mummy, and then the poor totem pole had to leave us too. So, but
awesome.
But
Joy.
I applaud the people who made the totem pole and stuck it up there for just that one brief moment.
Talk about renegade stuff, like they're gone rogue. Well, Joy, it was really nice to have you as my guest. It's usually her who's doing the hosting, and she's the one that's always, behind the camera and asking all the questions. So it was my turn to do that with her today. Thank you for being here today, Joy. And be on the lookout for some of her chalk drawings downtown if you're ever downtown, because you're lucky if you're able to actually see one in real life. So, because they're not there for very long. It's kind of like those sand castles and sand art that you see. It's not there for very long. So enjoy it while it's there. All right, everyone. I will see you all next week. And, I'm signing off.